Hello there everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest Grubbins on Ice. Last time we arrived after Lucy was kidnapped by Araxia, our new arch nemesis, I suppose you could say. And he's been running this town. The monsters aren't happy, so we not only have to get Lucy back, but we have to help them too. So in an odd turn of events, we are going to help the monsters out as well, not just fighting them. So we kind of just got introduced to this area in the last video. I went ahead and changed my costumes. I had already changed my stamps last time, but I decided to keep the robot. On Reynold, I changed Everett to the pumpkin costume, and I put the vampire onto Ren for now, just so we have someone who can heal. And before we get started and go into town, I guess I should sort of think of the proper pronunciation for the town in this game, because none of the pronunciations really sound all that good to me. Whether you want to say Rapugia, Rapugia, or whatever other pronunciation that you could possibly think of, nothing sounds good. The closest word that comes to mind is repugnant, so perhaps it should be Rapugia, but Rapugia kind of sounds the least worst. So I've been avoiding trying to kind of say the town's name for a while, but it's going to come up a lot. So from here on out, we're just going to call the town Rapugia if it comes up. If there is a proper pronunciation, I don't know it, so that's just what we're going to go with. As you'll move around, you'll notice that this Grubbin has not attacked me, and that is because the Grubbins are now friendly and we can speak to them. And it's actually really funny if you hit the Grubbin with your candy pail. Haha, you humans are so friendly. They just completely ignore us. So that's something you're going to have to get used to, is not hiding from or attacking the Grubbins on sight, because they're actually the good guys this time around. With all that introduction said and done, let's head to the south area first before we cross on over the bridge to the main town. So we'll collect a little bit of candy here. And then there's going to be multiple paths for us to take, so let's go to the left first, which is just a dead end with some candy. And then we'll go right into the middle, stake around this way, and you can see that there is a child wearing another cotton candy, or sorry, a candy corn costume. You found me. 6 of us were able to escape from Araxia's candy cage. It was terrible. They were going to feed us to Big Bones. Please save the others. So apparently we didn't do a very good job of taking Big Bones out, because apparently he is still roaming around and he's still kind of the big deal here, and Araxia has probably just taken the place of Drusilla, but we'll have to find out more about that later. Once you've picked up that chest and you've interacted with that kid, you can go around to the right-hand side of this area. And I kind of debated whether I wanted to go here first, because we're going to have to do some backtracking anyways, but I figured I would just show this to you guys now. If you drop down by this waterfall, you'll come out onto this wooden walkway here. And we can take note of the line here. I pointed it out last time, but this time you can see that the characters are actually commenting on it, and they're saying that we need a way to hook onto the line, which of course is a little bit of a hint. So we'll need to come back and visit this zip line later on. So I could have like saved that for when we need to go there later, but there are a couple of items in this cave that we can grab. We already have 400 pieces of candy and we haven't done any fighting yet, which is just great. So open this chest and we will get a tracksuit for one of our costumes. The right-hand side is a dead end, so don't go there. Instead, take a left-hand turn. And then you could just leave the cave by exiting to the south. And then this brings us up the hill just above the secret cave. So we have to go back there later, but I just figured I would pick up that costume material while I was there. And now we can cross the bridge into town. What's with the pagoda? I'm the eldest Grubbin. That means I get a pagoda. Oh. I used to run this place, you know, but now I'm just Araxia's puppet. Anyways, now is not a good time. I'm too distraught. Please go away. Alright, well, we're gonna leave him to his sorrow and deal with him in a little while. Viva Rapid! See, even trying to like say that and roll it off the tongue, it just doesn't sound good. Now we get in our first fair fight that's not rigged. We can definitely fight these guys and it's a lot more feasible. As you can see, they're level 10, 500 HP, and then some, so they're pretty tough. It's going to take us a couple of turns to take them out. But that's okay. At least they're not cheating this time. I went ahead and switched my one stamp off screen because I realized that the moldy pumpkin guts were way stronger than the vegetarian witch's brew. I had kind of gotten those two mixed up, but putting that stamp on should help us pretty significantly just with the poison damage. And because we're kind of in a spot now where these enemies are sort of with our level and a little bit tough, I've decided to put the healer in the party. Obviously the vampire, just because it can heal the entire party. But it is totally up to you what kinds of costumes you want to use. Like I said, we have access to all of our stamps and all of our costumes, so go wild. Do whatever you think is best. You definitely do not have to follow my strategy. There are certainly faster ways to get this game done, but it's not a speed run, so I'm not too worried about it. I think we're doing quite alright. And we are going to be able to go past level 10, as you can see. So our experience is going to count for something. It's not like fighting isn't going to do anything for us, which is nice. So this here is a door that you cannot open. It is the hotel. And we also have our payphone system back. And just for fun, let's try and call. Hello? Police? I'd like to report another kidnapping. I think you dialed the wrong number. This is the Trobog Historical Society. What? Why would there be a phone to a historical society? How else would we know when history is happening? Sheesh. Click. Alright. So you can save your game manually there if you want to, and I'm just going to put on my ninja costume for a minute here. You can see that the soldiers are now roaming around the town. So these soldiers take the place of the regular Trobogs and the Grubbins from the main game. So these are the ones that we're going to be fighting. So if you don't want to fight them, make sure to avoid them. I want to revolt too, but I can't grow a beard. Aw, well, that's unfortunate. So I think before I wander off too far, I will just stick to the far side here and just get all of this trick-or-treating done on this side. Our revolution was better than yours. We're not having much luck in our expedition for candy so far. It's not all enemies. We will get a couple of houses that give us candy, just like we had earlier when adults would give us candy. It's going to be the Grubbins this time around that reward us with candy. And there's nothing really special to say about these enemies. They're both damage dealing types. They don't have any magic spells, they don't heal, they don't buff, they don't anything. They're just straight out damage dealers. And there's only 2 of them this time, so it shouldn't take us too long to take them out. And before long, we should have another level up too, which is nice. And if we keep getting this sweet collection of candy, we should also be able to buy some more stamps. We've also been getting some new creepy treat cards along the way too, which is great. I've got one more house to hit, and then I'm going to talk to that Grubbin by the ramp. Oh, and finally, some candy. Well, thank you very much. Cranston sent me. Did he send me new orders? Have I been stationed somewhere else, sir? Yes, your new post is a few feet to the left. Sir, yes, sir. So we'll get him to move. Because Cranston did mention that the Grubbin soldiers are guarding parts of our new costume that he had given us the blueprints for, which was the pirate costume. So there's our first piece. Cranston sent me. Weird. Cranston sent me too. Do you have something for me? You mean like this ear scraper? That's a hook. Is that what you call it? Either way, I'm done with it. You can use it now. Ew. Well, I'm definitely gonna wash it off before using it, because that's gross. I'm gonna skip fighting those guys for now. If I want the experience, I'll fight them off screen. I'm gonna sneak past them here and just kind of continue on to the right, but just kind of on the bottom row here. And another fight. What do we have this time? Oh, look at that. We have the priest, which of course is the white mage, the healer, so we'll want to go ahead and take care of that one. Now luckily it's fairly weak, it doesn't seem to be much of an issue. And then we can focus all of our strengths onto the hurler here. So I'm pretty happy with these costumes. We're doing a decent amount of damage. And if I am finding that I'm having like next to no difficulty whatsoever and I'm not needing the healing, then I'll probably switch out the vampire for a costume that's a little bit more powerful. But I don't want to get too cocky just yet, because knowing my luck, as soon as I switch that out, I'll need the healing. No berets, you guys must be hurting for candy. Yes, we need more candy in our budget, thank you. And then if you hug the lower edge here where I've been trick-or-treating, this fence line, there is a gap in the fence and we are going to want to jump down there, just FYI, because there's another costume part down there. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and talk to this Grubbin at the big gate here. I can't let you through this gate, mainly because I don't know how it works. How are we supposed to get to Araxia then? Talk to the Grubbin Elder. He's old and wise and junk. He'll probably know how it opens. Ah, yes. So we need to go back and speak to the Elder. I also need to get this guard out of the way. Everett, man, you're getting stuck again. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna leave without you guys. Oh, or not. They can just magically teleport. Well, that's good. They seem to have an issue getting stuck on things that aren't an even level. I remember Everett got stuck following me around in the mall when we were in the Auburn Pine Mall level of the main game. I'd never seen it happen before, but going down the escalators, he got stuck, and I was like, oh, that's unusual. I've never seen that happen before. And then he just happened to get stuck on this wooden rampart type thing. But at least you're able to, like, go through him, which is nice. There's nothing worse than a game where, like, NPCs or characters can get stuck and then they block your path. So again, nothing new here, and if we kind of just see the same battles over and over again, I will cut them out. But we'll keep this one in since I've already talked through most of it. It's kind of like the enemies in the square. I'll just fight them off screen because at this point you guys have seen lots and lots of fighting. So you know what this game is all about. So we want to clear this guy out just because he's in the way of one of our zip lines. And we are gonna need that sort of shortly. We still have some parts of our costume to collect, but we are going to start being able to use those zip lines that we've been seeing around the city shortly. So just to get him out of the way for when the time comes, I'm just going to clear him out, and you can see that there is a zip line up there for us to use. At the bottom, there is also one of our kids hiding out. I thought being Candy would be cool until I walked a mile in its shoes. It sucks. Alright. So let's hit this very last house here. And yes, it's Candy. Excellent. And he's happy to help, which is just fantastic. We have quite the collection of candy too. Alright. Last but not least, let's speak to this Grubbin. Cranston sent me. Good, I'm sick of guarding this stupid ramp. Great! Because I would like the chest in here, please. Which is a piece of newspaper, which also completes our pirate costume. Hooray! Alright, so you can see that Reynolds has this really neat, nifty pirate costume, and it is awesome. I can't wait to test it out in battle. Let's go back to the Grubbin Elder and figure out what we need to do for him before we wrap things up. Mr. Elder, do you know how to open the gate at the edge of town? How can you talk about gates at a time like this? Can't you see I'm heartbroken over here? I didn't know monsters had hearts. How did that happen? Well, I was dating the Repudiarch Elder's sister. We were so perfect for each other. And he forbid her to see me when Araxia took power. My sugar muffin! Gosh, that's so sad. So, about that gate. And now he's got the nerve to vacation with her in Grubbin Valley, at this hotel right next to my pagoda. How I long to gaze into her eye cavities and caress her bony face. And maybe you could sneak in there and get her back for me. I'll open that gate for you if you do. Anything for love, as long as it gets the gate open. Quickly now, I can see her stuffing her face at the buffet table near the pool over there. My baby sure loves food. No matter how much she eats, she stays bony. I wish I had her metabolism. Oh, boy. Well, alright. So, that gives us another objective to do. And she is just located, actually, in an area where we need our fancy pirate costume for. So we've pretty much mopped up everything in the town here, all of the houses to trick-or-treat at. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to defeat the guards in the town square here. And then I will be back and ready to go, continuing on and figuring out what it is that we need to do next. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that you'll join me next time.